Hello and welcome to this review of Paul Masson Madeira, American Madeira, it says on the bottle. Okay, Paul Masson was born in 1859 in France, and he moved to the United States and started a winery in California in the late 1800s. He died in 1940. With so many companies, you know, his family continued to run it, and then they decided to sell out in the 1980s. And it's now currently owned by Constellation brands. And they consolidated the winemaking production off to Canandaigua, New York, which is the long-time location of Taylor, New York wines. These are all dessert fortified wines. They said on the Constellation Brands website that 53% of the Madeira market in the United States is this one here. And they control a big part of the dessert. The Paul Masson is a huge part of the dessert wine market of any type, port, the sherries, the marsala. Okay, I bought this at Dorgnac's. It's the only place I could find it, Dorgnac's and Rouse's. They don't sell it in this town here. They sell the Paul Masson brandies. Okay, which I've tried some, but I need to try the others. Bottled by Paul Masson Winery, Canandaigua, New York. 18% alcohol. They talked about, and then they show a picture of the old California winery, which is still a state landmark today, a United States landmark. And they have a bunch of events. You get on their website, the Paul Masson Winery website in California is all, you can rent it. It's extremely expensive to rent. Paul Masson Madeira is renowned for its uniquely enticing bouquet and mellow taste. It is delightful when enjoyed as an aperitif or an after-dinner wine. Well, I'm having it as a mid-morning wine. All right, well. Famed as the favorite wine of Thomas Jefferson and others during colonial times, Madeira is also a key ingredient of many gourmet dishes served chilled or at room temperature. It's cool today, so I'll have it at room temperature. A lot of people buy these for cooking. I can understand that, or sipping. $4.99 for the bottle, not a bad deal. Exceptional, really. I mean, that's assuming it's good. All right. They also make a number of table wines. I've never tried any of them. Table, dessert, fortified, a whole array. And if you get on the Constellation Brands website, there's a pretty extensive. Well, initially they don't say much about this wine. It just lists them, make these, and then if you go to where they call their brand headquarters, what is it? Brand Central. Then there's deep information, mostly for like distributors to get like real close-in information, or like I say, double down. It'll say who their competitors are, where it should be price pointed, and then they'll have also for consumers, or maybe things stores want to show, like what foods this should go well with, and they'll have like recipes you can make with the wines. So it's very, very, very interesting. They talked about this fellow, Matt Schrader, who started working for Constellation Brands in 2002. And he has a degree in microbiology from Cornell University. And they says, so he's real, obviously, he's their winemaker. They call him the Constellation Brands winemaker. And there's a long article, and it's about how he's responsible for making sure that, obviously, the wine tastes good, and that it's not infected in any way with, well, microbes. So you want to work for these big macro mass-produced wine or liquor or beer companies, you've got to have these degrees. You've got to have at least a BS, Bachelor of Science, and usually it's going to be biology, food science, microbiology, okay? You look on Anheuser-Busch website, or S.A.B. Miller, they talk about all their brewers, their brewmasters, and they're having a garage sale over there, and their degrees, like Joe Vaughn and this university, that university. So you can get into the business, I mean the big business, right? But you've got to go get that bachelor's degree, and then probably you want to work up to a master's. And if you want to be like Dr. David Ryder, the brewmaster, you might have retired. For S.A.B. Miller, you got to get that PhD. Okay. What is that, chestnut color? Golden. Burnished gold, sort of like the San Francisco 49ers color scheme. They have that burnished gold. California gold, makes sense. A lot of alcohol legs here. It's clear. Okay, it smells very nutty. It's a sharp, fairly strong nutty aroma. Think almonds. Like I said in previous ones, walnut oil. Walnut oil. Oak mellowed. Yeah, and you get in the wood. They make a big emphasis there with this Paul Masson and Taylor dessert wines of the oak aging. Same thing with the brandies too, by the way. They make a big emphasis upon that. This is something I've never had before. Glad I bought it. Flavor is such an interesting counterpoint to the aroma. The aroma is that sharp, almost biting experience, and you get the nuttiness and that, like I said, the walnut oil. Then the flavor, there's a sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. It's like appropriately sweet. Sweet. 18%, yeah. You're gonna pick up the alcohol. This is not something to, it's something to enjoy. Not to play around with, because it's smooth, it's mellow, and for something that you're at home, 8 in the evening, 8 at night, you're not going anywhere, it's cold outside, yeah, it would be perfect. To go out somewhere and drink a bunch and drive, no, that would be an extremely disastrous idea, I think. But I shouldn't be having to tell you that. It's a pretty solid, almost dense mouth. So this is not, with the color, it is not a light, flighty, feathery mouthfeel. It's pretty heavy. The finish is like with the beer world. It's medium dry. It's right there, dead in the middle between your sweet and your dry. Well, I gotta say this: if you're looking for a very approachably priced dessert wine, this would be one to get. I mean, I cannot do anything but rave about it. Now, I know there's Madeiras that, and I'm gonna, or at least I intend to eventually try all of them. You can get them $25, $30, $200 a bottle. They say they don't go bad. If you don't pop the cork, it could last hundreds of years. The fortified Madeiras, they're not going to turn into vinegar. And they're probably fortified with brandy. This one won't last too long at this property. But for the the value priced, it's perfect. Honestly, it's a perfect product. I think it would go so well with something with heavy onions, like a stew, like pork stew. I'm thinking of chicken and dumplings with a lot of black pepper. And some fairly heavy, overly heavy use of onions. It would just be dynamite. So I don't want to go on and on, but man, I didn't know what I would think about. I was like, what is a Madeira? How am I going to like it? I know this, and I was reading about them. There's so many different shades. It's almost like its own world. Like just that, you could do 5 videos a week for decades. And I'm not exaggerating, just on Madeira, just on port, just on dry sherry, cream sherry. It's amazing. It is amazing. And I'm not getting bored of beer and getting away from beer, but I mean, there's more to that. Some people almost like have approached like, you're portraying beer. I'm not portraying, it's a consumer product, okay? So how could I betray a consumer product? I'm not part of any movement. They produced it, I drink, okay? I'm not, it's nothing about betraying or having to be loyal to any. Tomorrow I might say I'm gonna go try rum. And I have no plans to try rum, but I have no plans not to try it. So, fantastic. Thank you for watching this video production. I mean, really fantastic.